What's happening? Welcome to the Happy Hour live show. Cheers. If you're hanging out, if you're joining us today. As prepared as I always am, I totally forgot to get some beer for this thing, so rum and Diet Coke it is. I just want to welcome you guys to the show. This is my first live stream, so I'm a bit nervous, but the alcohol helps. That's why there was a happy hour theme to this whole thing. It's like singing karaoke in a bar. You have to get well lubricated before you do it. So basically, I started a new direction for my channel. It's kind of going in the direction of film and photography. And hey, little Miss Mama, how you doing? This thing's on a super lag, so but the direction of my channel is going in the direction of my business, and I really wanted to tie my business together with my channel. So film photography, we're going full force at that. And what better to do than to show some simple DIY tricks and things like that for people to just, you know, be able to make videos on a DIY budget. So there you go. I did get some questions via Twitter and some Facebook. So let's go ahead and we'll grab some of these up. Tara Lynn, how are you? I'm excited. I'm rating high. So I'm gonna start with the goofiest one that I got, and this one came from one of my friends via Instagram. Why do dogs sniff each other's butts? And well, Tyler, he's one of my buddies here in Greensburg. I was going to reply to you with something a little snappy and a little mean-spirited and tell you to ask your girlfriend, but no, I don't know. I guess they dig it. That's the whole thing. I don't know. But to get into the film and photography questions, I got one straight from Juan from Twitter. Did you go to film school and where? I did go to film school. I went to Edinburgh University. It was a while ago. I was there in 2001. And I spent 5 years. I took the scenic route through college, so but it was a good time. I learned some good things, but you never actually really learn as much as you will with hands-on experience. So that's what I can say about that. Gail from Twitter. I'm just starting out on YouTube. Should I save money for a camera or use my phone? What camera? Honestly, I would say if you're just starting out on YouTube, I would use your phone. Like, absolutely, just use your phone. When I first started making videos on YouTube, I used my phone to film everything, and what I started doing, I was just doing like prank videos, like air horn videos with my girlfriend, because I just needed a creative outlet to do something else other than work. So I would definitely just use your phone. You know, phone quality cameras are just insane these days. They're great. If you were going to buy a camera, I would say pick up the G7X Mark II. It's a great camera. If you have the money to spend and you save that much money, it's a pretty great camera. Aperture goes down to 1.8. It's a pretty sweet camera. You could shoot in some low light situations. Let's see. Larry from Twitter. Do you have a G7X Mark II? Yes. I just actually used that. Yes. So the G7X Mark II, I actually kind of bought this thing on a whim. It was kind of a mistake that I was buying it. Not a mistake that I bought it, but I walked in to buy a camera strap because I was going to shoot a wedding, and when I walked in, I was just kind of browsing the Sonys and browsing the Canons, and what ended up happening was I walked out with the G7X Mark II. I don't know what kind of goofy magic or sorcery the salesman had over me, but I ended up walking out with it. Chris, also from Twitter, I bought your ebook for the Sony HX80 and it helped a lot. Thanks. Thanks for buying the ebook for the Sony HX80. I love that camera. The Sony HX80 was like a very awesome like starter camera, and much like the G7X, it has a flip out screen, and you know that's always helpful when you're vlogging, so you can watch yourself and things like that. And that was a really good camera. The only thing that I didn't like about that camera is that the bottom, the insert, was plastic, so it stripped out immediately, and I couldn't use it on like my GorillaPod or anything like that. And secondly, it doesn't shoot well in low light, so you have to be in a tremendous amount of light to make that camera look as good as you possibly can. But in that ebook, I'm glad that you bought it. I give you some tips on lighting and things like that. So, very cool. Thanks for buying that. I appreciate it. And I got a question from Facebook from one of my buddies, Tara Lynn, from one of my Facebook groups. She's actually in the chat right now. Thank you so much for coming to the live chat. I really appreciate it. Actually, there's a couple of you in there. Thank you so much. I appreciate you guys coming to watch. She asked, for someone starting out as a vlogger, what would you recommend as being the most beneficial items to invest in first? After a camera, would it be a mic, lighting, gimbal, tripod? And is there such a thing as an affordable option that is still holds good quality and is best to just save longer and invest in the higher quality? I may have just butchered your question. I'm sorry. We'll start at the first one. What do I recommend as being the most beneficial piece of equipment when you're first starting out? To be honest, I would say the most beneficial piece of equipment ever is lighting. And lighting really just really sets the tone for things. Like I was just talking about in the example with the Sony HX80, it's a really good camera, but in order to make that camera look good, you have to have a good amount of light. And that kind of goes with almost every camera. Like even the 80D, like I shoot a lot with the Canon 80D. The low light capabilities on that camera are not as great as they could be. And that was an expensive camera. So what I would say is lighting. Like right now I'm actually using the DIY lighting setup in my previous video, and it works pretty well. I mean, like as far as, you know, is there an affordable option that holds good quality? Yeah. That China ball was $10 at Walmart, and this shop light right over here is just giving me some backup light right there. That thing was $7.50. So for, you know, under $18, you got a pretty decent lighting setup right there. And then I would say definitely microphones. Microphones are like the next thing, because like your videos can look super good. They can look tremendous. But if your audio sucks, people really drop out. Like, I mean, that's something that you know. like if you're in the film and video business, like you can shoot the greatest video, you can shoot the greatest commercial for a company, but the second they hear your audio and it doesn't sound good, people immediately are like, oh, that guy's an amateur. He doesn't have good audio quality. So, I think I hit all your points. I wanted to thank you guys for coming in. There's some multiple people in here. Hello from Portugal. Don't be afraid. Well, like I said, the alcohol helps. It lubricates the mind. Esha, what is this live stream about? This live stream is basically a part of my channel. The new direction that I'm taking is to really kind of focus in on photography and video, and really just kind of taking photography and video into our own hands and employing some DIY techniques to get like really pro results for a small budget. So when I first started my channel, I was doing all kinds of things. I realized that my content was like really spread out all over the place. I was doing skateboard videos, electric skateboard videos, vlogs. I was doing family vlogs. I was doing travel vlogs. You know, I was taking my camera out to the bar and like hanging out with my friends and stuff. And what I have found is that nobody really was interested in like the little things that I do. There's some like really great vlogging channels out there, like you know, like Little Miss Mama. Her channel, Tara Lynn's channel, is incredible. Like, she is so incredibly talented with her thumbnails, and her vlogs are like to the point. They have like a very nice like aura about them. Her and her family, they go out and they do activities, and by the end of it, you feel really good that you just watched it, and it's like super fun. Let's see. Tara Lynn, it's a great idea. I love what you're doing. The hacks are a huge benefit. Not going to lie, however, I love your reviews too. That electric bike was killer. Thank you so much. And I really do like enjoy doing those types of videos. They're so much fun. But when I really like had to sit and audit my YouTube channel and really think about the direction that I wanted this channel to go and really use it to my advantage, I really wanted to link my business with you know, my talents. So I do still want to do some review videos, but I am going to use them as a lesson in shooting B-roll. I think one of the greatest things that I've noticed throughout my videos and throughout the comments is that people appreciate my B-roll and just the cinematography the style that I have when I shoot my B-roll. And so that is something that I really want to push in my videos. So if I do a review video on, you know, a cool product that I have, then yeah, I'm gonna just turn it into a B-roll lesson or something like that. Good luck. Very good tips in your videos. Thank you so much. I appreciate your support. I appreciate everybody's support. Everybody that asks questions and everybody that's sitting here in this watching live. I couldn't be happier. Thank you so much. Hey, I didn't know you made ebooks. Do you have any others? I do not right now. I have some on the back burner. I have some ideas. The HX80 was kind of this vlogging camera that no one really knew about. Like, everyone knew about the G7X, and because like the flip out screen was like the big thing. Like, everyone was like, oh, this flip out screen, I need it. And so other camera companies started making them, and when Sony integrated theirs into the HX80, I was like researching this camera, and not a whole lot of people were using the HX80. So I was like, I really need to like get in on this camera and really like kind of make this my flagship thing here for a little bit. And so I wrote a book on how to shoot better video with it, which basically consists of like getting into the settings and you know, making the settings, you know, maximize the settings for your videos. And you know, there's an MP4 function and there's an AVC HD function. Which one's better? Obviously the AVC HD. MP4 is a compressed format. So you get into all of that. Excuse me. And at the end of the ebook, I go through and I just, you know, give a little spiel on some lighting tips and things like that. Like if you're filming, you know, you don't need lights. You don't need these. You can film outside, or you can film next to a window. And the biggest thing is, if you're filming next to a window, you can do it on the side, but what you don't want to do is ever face like away from the window and have the camera face the window. That way, you know, you're getting a silhouette. So what you want to do is physically face the window and have that light spilling in on you, and that'll give you like the most, you know, the most desirable lighting for shooting. Maybe your next ebook could be about making the most of the video on your Samsung S9 Plus. Well, I do not have a Samsung S9 Plus. I have an iPhone, but basically the same principles, you know, are involved. If you, the more light that you shoot in, the better your video is going to look. You know, you don't ever really want to be in a position where you have too much light, but you definitely need more light than not, because if you're not in light, then there's three factors in a camera. You've got your ISO, you got your shutter speed, and your aperture. So, you know, say you set your aperture at, you know, its max. For the G7X, it's 1.8. So say you're shooting at 1.8 and you're in a dark room and that's still not enough light, then at that point you have to take your ISO and you got to bump that up. And as you take that ISO up, then you run into problems with grain, and it's just it's a big headache. And especially like if any of you guys are like wedding shooters, or you know anybody that's a wedding shooter, you can talk to them about that. That's like insane. Those are the things that you run into whenever you go shoot a wedding. It's like, you know, your film or your film. I'm an old school guy. Your footage is going to be grainy because you have to boost that ISO to get, you know, max your camera out to get that light. So, I don't know. That's, you know, lighting's a pretty important thing, and that's why I really wanted to do a video right up front about DIY lighting, because video lights are super expensive, like super expensive. I have a lighting kit. I have 2 lighting kits, and basically what had happened was, you know, when I wanted to start a company way back in college, I took my college loan money, everything that was left over, everything that I was supposed to be living on, paying my rent and food and all that stuff, and I bought video equipment with it. I bought a camera and I bought some lights, and pretty much spent all of my extra money on camera gear. So now, you know, I'm really excited that I have the gear, but I wish I kind of would have thought harder about how I could have done this more DIY, and in the beginning especially. But like I said, these shop lights and these China balls, they're super affordable. And hello from Switzerland, Manuel, my man. I actually just got a super awesome print from Manuel. He sent me a very, very awesome picture that I enjoyed so much. Show you real quick. That right there, it's I asked him if I could purchase that print from him on Instagram, and he actually sent that to me as a gift, and I couldn't be happier about it. I'm gonna change the song here. So I have lost myself. Let's be honest. So these live things they're going to be every Friday. I'm going to keep on trucking. I know this one was a little nerve-wracking. It's nerve-wracking for me. And I'm sure that everybody that is watching right now is like, oh, dear Lord, look at this kid. He's falling apart. If you think I'm falling apart now, you should watch me do my actual YouTube videos. I swear at the camera a lot because I just can't, like, I'm not really good at talking on camera. I know what I'm talking about, but it's hard to, I have these thoughts running through my head where I'm like, oh my gosh, like, I need to convey all this information in this short amount of time, and, I get in my head, but, it's very fun. I'm very excited to do more videos in kind of the DIY area of lighting and shooting and editing, and basically I just want to throw it out to you guys and to everybody in my groups and things like that on Facebook. I don't want to put out content that seems like it's pointless, or that, I'm just putting out content to put out content. I want these things to actually be, learnable moments, and I want the takeaway to be, like, pretty valuable. So if you guys have suggestions on things that, you want me to cover, any kind of, like, editing, I'm totally down for it. I'm pretty proficient in After Effects and Photoshop and Lightroom and Premiere. I've been doing this for a long time with a bunch of different companies, big companies, small companies, and it's super fun. Brenna, hi from Seattle, Washington. How are you? Thanks for joining. I appreciate it. Tara Lynn, nah, it was great. You did great. Live is not something I would attempt. I make myself look unlike a hot mess with fab editing. You're doing awesome. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. It's, to be completely honest, when I'm, like, sitting here doing my videos, I'm just like, I spit out a few lines, and then I'm like, I don't like that, so I back up, and then, oh my God, it's everywhere. But it's so much fun. Brenna, let's see. Yes, please, make more editing tips. I'm just starting out my YouTube channel. Starting out a YouTube channel is honestly, I think, one of the most exciting things ever. Especially if you're into making videos, or, you're into just creating. It doesn't matter really what you're making videos about, like whatever it is that you're making videos about, whether you're baking cakes or doing makeup tutorials, or videos, some kind of like crazy Inception type stuff. It's very important to have a creative outlet, and really, this is a thing now that is accessible to everybody, and that's why I'm so bummed out that I waited so long to get my YouTube channel up and running. I've been doing video for, oh my God, over 12 years now, and YouTube was a thing back kind of at the beginning of this, of my career, but I didn't really see the value of it, and now I see the value of it. There's tremendous value, and it's so much fun. I love making YouTube videos. What I would say honestly, Brenna, is celebrate every milestone, because every milestone is important. The one thing that like really kind of bugs me, and I actually kind of made a rant video about this today. Not that it bugs me, but when people say, I know it's not much, but I hit 100 subscribers on my YouTube channel. Oh my God. 100 subscribers is awesome. Don't ever downplay your milestones or your accomplishments, because you convinced, 100 people to give a shit about what you do. Okay? That's awesome. I think that is like one of the coolest things. Oh my gosh, if you're neighbors with Tara Lynn, you guys should hook up and do a collab. She's super talented. She's awesome. And you should have her do your thumbnails, because she's phenomenal. Her design techniques, her skills are just fantastic. Is anybody else actually drinking, or am I the only one that's drinking? I'm actually really curious about that. But yeah, I made a little rant video that doesn't really coincide with my new format, which I vowed to not break. It was like Monday, Wednesday, Friday, live show. But today, I was feeling really motivated, and when I was like ripping through one of my groups on Facebook, I was sitting there and I saw like somebody say, hey, I know it's not much and it's not very impressive, but I got 100 subscribers. My channel just hit 100 subscribers. And I thought, man, that's so awesome. And every single time that I see somebody say something like that, I come at them with the same message. And it's, be proud of what you've accomplished. The first 100 are the absolute hardest to get. 200 came easier than the first 100, and 500 came easier than the first 100, 200. But it's pretty awesome. Let's see, what do we got here? Tara Lynn again. Thank you so much for supporting this whole thing. You specifically, I appreciate you very much. The way I like to think about it is, I think about how many subscribers you have all in one room, all supporting you. That's mind-blowing. That's so funny that you said that, because today in my little rant video, if you watch it, you'll see. That's how I say it. I say 100 people might not sound like a lot in the grand scheme of things, but if you put 100 people in the same room as you, or 100 people you invite to your house, 100 people is a lot of people, and it's awesome. And I'm so glad that you just said that, because that is exactly what I said in my video today. Very awesome. Manuel, I'm also trying to build up my YouTube channel, but nobody will understand me what I'm talking in my vlogs unless you speak Swiss German. One thing that I had noticed is that like subtitles are really an important thing. Like every like blog on like how to optimize a YouTube channel that I've been reading, or any advice from like bigger YouTubers that I've gotten recently, a lot of people are talking about doing like subtitles or transcriptions. And me personally, I don't know that would benefit me. But there are companies out there that will do subtitles for you. I don't know if that's something that you'd like to pay for or not, but I don't know. It's pretty cool. I really wanted to just narrow my focus and really focus on video photography. And if that's one thing that I can say as a piece of advice, just stick stick with something that you're very passionate about and something that you can ramble on about for a half an hour, even if you are nervous about it. But something that you're very passionate about, people will absolutely know. You know, they will understand. They can see that you're passionate about what you're talking about, and you know, it's really cool. I really want to just kind of, you know, I see these messages in these groups all the time, and people asking like, you know, I'm just starting out on YouTube. What kind of camera should I get? And it's, you know, it's I don't want people to get discouraged because I say a lot of times just use your phone. You know, I started out on my phone because it was just the most simple thing that I could do. You know, it was easiest to just shoot on my phone, and vlogging in public. Holy shit. I literally, if you think I'm nervous now, you should have seen me vlog in public for the first time. That was something else. I literally, my first vlog ever, I don't even remember where I was, but I was nervous, and I remember people looking at me and they were like, who's this kid talking to? Blah, blah, blah. But it is a lot more comfortable to be looking at a phone and talking to a phone, because everyone does that. It's a lot more comfortable than carrying around a giant DSLR with a big microphone hanging on it and things like that. It's something that you definitely have to like really get into, and really just kind of be like, you know what? Here I am. I make videos. I'm a vlogger, or I'm a video creator, and this is what I do. I talk to cameras. You know what? And the one thing that really helped me out was I made some YouTube business cards, and that helped me because when I would go out and like vlog in public or something, and people would be like, dude, what are you doing? Like, who are you talking to? Are you making a video? I would be like, yeah, I make videos on YouTube. Here's a card. And immediately people would be like, oh, this guy makes videos on YouTube. What's your channel? And then they flip it over and there's my channel information, and then people like go and visit your channel, and you know, they don't have to remember Jordan Hauser Digital. Most people would spell my last name incorrectly anyway. So to get people to the channel and to kind of give them a reason as to why I was doing it, I would just hand them a business card that I made. Tara Lynn, all my videos are shot on my phone, and they're not too shabby. Never be discouraged. Your videos are actually very awesome. I love your videos. I watch your videos all of the time, and I just love the whole like family aspect that you've been able to like make me enjoy. If that sounds weird, like I literally have watched like multiple family vlogs, and some of them I just really couldn't get into. Yours, on the other hand, is awesome because I think that you and I have a very similar sense of humor, very dry, very kind of tongue-in-cheek type of thing, and I really like your videos because it's yes, Hauser is a German name, Hauser. Tara Lynn, I like your videos because you make me laugh, and you're kind of like one of those parents that are just like, oh yeah, you know, my kid's out there just, you know, eating snow, doing his thing. You know, it's a really like comical relief. You know, I really enjoy your vlogs a lot. So Smart, I'm going to make some business cards. You really should do it. The company that I went through, I'm going to have to research that. I'll send you some information on it. But I put out a video actually a couple months ago on my YouTube business cards. it really does help. Like, I was in Erie, Pennsylvania, and that was kind of the place that I vlogged in that had the most people, and I had my big DSLR with me and the big Gorilla Pod, and I'm walking around, and it was a water park, so it was kind of uncomfortable. I didn't want anyone to be like, yo, what are you doing? Are you filming, like, me or my kids? Like, we're in bathing suits, and, you know, we're here having fun, and I don't want to be filmed or anything like that. So I was trying to be really cognizant of that, and kind of the same way I would feel if I was out with my family and things like that. But I took a stack of those business cards, and ironically enough, all of the kids were running up to me, and they were like, "Oh my God, you shoot for you? Do you shoot with YouTube videos? Blah 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 blah. What's your channel?" And I just started handing out cards to all the kids. I was just like, you know, take these cards, enjoy it. Make sure that your parents don't think that I'm some kind of fucking weirdo. And, like, that was, you know, that they helped me. They've helped me tremendously in a lot of places. And, like, even if I'm out, like, pumping gas and I have a couple of those YouTube cards in my pocket, I'll throw them on the gas pump. And just, like, every once in a while, I'll get somebody that, like, hey, I found your YouTube business card, like, on the ground at the mall. That's awesome. And they reached out, so that's pretty sweet. Brent, LOL, because I'm starting out, I'm using iMovie to edit. I went to Mexico for the first time and vlogged about it. I was so nervous. Listen, iMovie is actually a pretty decent software. It comes stock on your computer, I believe so, or at least it used to. iMovie is pretty great. I mean, it allows you to do what you need to do. The reason that I use Adobe Premiere is because I've been using it forever. I use it for my business. I've used it at all of my jobs and things like that. So that was actually the most comfortable for me to use. And I'll tell you something. This is actually really funny. I have a harder time using iMovie than I do using Final Cut Pro, because I'm so used to being able to tweak every tiny little facet of my videos, and inside of iMovie, I'm like staring at it like, what do I do? I don't know how to adjust this setting, and I don't know how to adjust this setting. But if you use iMovie and you learn iMovie, and then you want to graduate onto like a different program, and you want to go onto like more advanced programs and things like that, you know, you did it right. You know, starting out where you should and things like that. I started editing video, and I'm gonna date myself so bad here. The first editing program that I ever used was in college. It was called Video Toaster. And if you've ever seen Wayne's World, Dana Carvey, who plays Garth, his brother actually invented Video Toaster, the editing software. So there's that. Video Toaster was cool. I learned how to edit on that. Went into Premiere, went to Sony Vegas, went to Final Cut Pro, went back to Premiere, and never looked back. Premiere, the Adobe suite is just, you know, something that is so integrated, and it's amazing. I love everything about Adobe and their products. Brenna, again, my videos turned out like a travel video. Well, that's great. That's all right. You went to Mexico, you traveled, and you vlogged about it. So I'm glad that you ended up looking like a travel video. I mean, that's awesome. Little Miss Mama, so smart. For me, I bet it would be a good idea to leave them at Starbucks or Parker Library. You know, everywhere moms and families hang out, I'm totally making them. Yes, you definitely, especially in your position where you're doing family vlogs with your kids and your husband and things like that. You know, I'm shooting video. I'm just doing like, you know, random videos of skateboards and photography and things like that. So I leave mine at like gas stations and just anywhere that anyone can find them. You should definitely do some like, you know, Starbucks, little Tim Hortons. I know my Canada. Things like that. I actually, during Christmas time this is like crazy guerrilla marketing. During Christmas time, I took my YouTube cards and I went to Target, and I also went to Walmart, and I went to the kids' toys aisle, and the boxes, like where all of like the kids' toys were, there's like a little gap where you open the box. Like if this was like the gap in the box right here, I took in a brand new toy on all the shelves, I slid my YouTube business cards into that little slot. So when kids were opening up their gifts, they were like opening up their gifts and they're like, "Oh my God, thank you so much, I got this." And then they were like, "What the hell is this?" It was a YouTube business card from me. I don't know if I ever gained any subscribers from that or not, but as far as guerrilla marketing goes, I was like, you know what? It's Christmas, and all of these toys are going somewhere. So I'm going to put my business cards in there, and I'm going to go somewhere also. Man, well, definitely, man. Make some cards. Like honestly, the talent that you have. To put one of your incredible photos on a business card, and on the back just throw all your social contact in there. This is my Instagram, this is my YouTube channel, and dude, your work is phenomenal. That Instagram post, like, people are loving it. When I got the box last night, actually, my girlfriend was like, "Hey, you got a box," and I'm like, "Oh, really?" And I was actually waiting for this to show up, and I was like, "Oh, well, maybe it's my my camera remote." And so I go and I saw the label that you wrote out, and I was like, "Oh my God, I've been waiting for this forever." Cut the box open and I showed it to her, and she was like, "Oh my God, that photo is beautiful. It is so beautiful," and I absolutely love it. And the fact that you gave me the backstory on Instagram, that it was the wee hours of Valentine's Day and things, and the lock that is in focus the most with the heart on it. Oh my God, man. I can't say enough about your work. Yes, Tim Hortons. I actually lived in Erie when I went to Edinburgh, obviously, and there are Tim Hortons everywhere in Erie. The man makes some good coffee, and the donuts aren't too shabby either. Guerrilla marketing. Love that it has a name starting this next week. Yes, guerrilla marketing. In the film and video business, we use the term guerrilla as far as shooting, going out on a DIY guerrilla shoot. You're going out there and you just grab a camera and you run and you go, and a lot of people call it run and gun, but a lot of times you get the best footage from a run and gun shoot or a guerrilla style shoot. It's very cool. You get out there and you just make it happen, and it's very neat. But yes, dude, please. I want everybody in here. I want you all to plug your channels. Brenna, I want to know what your channel is, because I'd like to take a look at it and subscribe. Tara Lynn, I'm all over your stuff. I watch your stuff all the time, so we're good. I want all of you guys, go ahead, list your links to your channels and stuff. I mean, the biggest thing that I want to come from my channel is that I want there to be support for other channels, for other small channels like myself. If we can get out there and support each other, then that's the greatest thing. Again, a little bit of the rant video that I made today. I was just talking about how important it is for people, of similar ilk, people that make similar things or are interested in similar things. It's very important that you go out and you support each other. You know, there's this weird stigma in the film and video industry where, you know, you could be best friends with somebody who's also a photographer or videographer, and for some reason you shit on each other's work. Not to each other, but, you know, if they put something on social media, maybe you don't like it or something like that. And to me, that is just a bullshit thing. Like, you should absolutely find the people, surround yourself with creative individuals who motivate you and push you to do better, and latch onto them and support them, and they'll support you back. It all goes back to the golden rule, you know, treat others as you'd like to be treated yourself. And, man, you got to support people. And that's the greatest thing about the YouTube groups that I'm in. Tara Lynn's group is incredible. Once a week, there's a thread. We upload videos, and we just, you know, we comment on each other's videos. We watch each other's videos. And in order for me to get feedback from people, I watch other videos and I comment on their videos and what they're doing. And I've met tremendous people from these groups. It's so much fun to be able to, you know, make some friends and say, like to my girl last night, to Jessie, I said, "Oh my God, what's in this box?" I said, "My friend Manuel sent me this photo, and it was awesome, and I love it." And to be able to say, like, my friend from Switzerland sent me this, and it's so much fun, you know. You're such a good guy. Happy we met virtually. I hate to say it, but I gotta run. Motherhood calls. Absolutely. Thanks for even jumping on. I know it's like 2:45 where you're at right now. Tara Lynn, thank you so much for all the support. Thank you. Blake Hauser. That's my dad. Hi, Dad. Thank you for joining the live show. I appreciate it. My dad says, should I know what B-roll is? Well, if you've heard me talk about video, I'm sure you do know what B-roll is at this point. But let's go over it. So B-roll is something that, you know, if I'm shooting a video of, say, a machine shop, for instance, and you're sitting there telling me about all the products and services that you guys provide, I would go, and while you're discussing those products and services, I would go in and I would take some, you know, really nice shots of what you're describing at that point in time. And, you know, that's an example of B-roll. Cutaway shots, basically. Thank you, Dad, for joining the live show. I appreciate it. My dad is actually one of the biggest supporters of my channel. He calls me all the time, and he tells me that, you know, he loves my videos and things like that, and that's just so important. Like I said a little earlier, it's so important to surround yourself with people that are, you know, there to motivate you and to push you forward in things that, you know, in your dreams and things that you really are amped to accomplish. Brenna, just saw Manuel's photos. Oh my God, they're absolutely gorgeous. Brenna, they're amazing. Brenna, I didn't end up seeing your channel. I want you to list that so we all can visit your channel. Keith Fusco, dude, what's up, man? This is my first live experience. I little nervous. That's why I got a little bit of booze here. Thanks for joining into the show, man. I really appreciate it. That whole, like, content aware, stretching the background thing, your video the other day, when I watched that, my mind was like blown. I was like, man, I've spent so much time I've spent so much time like copying and pasting and just God, like all of these like terrible things like to stretch a background, but now I know the trick, and I learned it from your channel. So Keith, please go ahead and list your channel in here too. I mean, there's creators in here that definitely would benefit from all kinds of different tips, and definitely things that you're teaching as well. You're a talented guy. So I think I didn't really plan on sitting here and talking for 50 minutes. I had no idea. Let's see. Keith, loads of people have said that about the content aware, and they've not used it before. Anything to make life easy. Honest to God, man. The greatest thing about learning in video is streamlining processes. And that's like one of the biggest things that I like to do, in my jobs. Like, so when I got my first video job ever, I walked in there and I really wanted to impress people because I knew that I could edit well, but the guys that were there, they also edited well. So I was like, what can I do to stand apart from, everybody else? And what I ultimately decided was I was going to come up with ways to streamline things and build templates. And that's exactly what I did. So I started building title templates and things like that, where people were like manually putting them in and things like that. Like, I built templates, and I was like, hey, you can just use this template and drop it into your project and change the titles and blah, blah, blah. And that's such an important thing. When you go forward and you streamline processes, it's fantastic, man. And you definitely made my life easier. Great video. Manuel, B-roll with no help from others is sometimes kind of difficult. Do you know if Jordan has a video about this on his channel, DIY B-roll yourself? I actually don't have a video about how I shoot B-roll specifically. That is on the list of videos to make, because one thing that I'm very grateful for is that people have said, about my videos that they really like my B-roll, and that my style, my cinematic style really speaks to them, and that makes me really, really happy. Like, absolutely, my channel is blah blah blah. Absolutely, show it. Yes. So that was one thing that I was like super grateful for. I was just like, man, I really like that people like my style of shooting, because I can lose myself in B-roll. Like, when I was out there shooting the video of the Rose Avenue, the bike that I got, I literally just was riding that thing through town, and I saw this really cool alleyway with these steel doors that had graffiti and brick, and there was like, a leak in a pipe up there that was like dripping water down, and I was like, oh my God, how like urban does this look? How cool does this look? And I got so excited about that. I like went and I parked that bike like right over by those doors, and just I spent like an hour just sitting there shooting every piece of that bike. And I shot it in 60 frames per second so I could slow it down, threw it in my 24p sequence to give it that like really like smooth like film look and things like that. These are all things that I want to integrate into my my tutorials and things like that. But I will absolutely be shooting a B-roll video, like how to shoot B-roll and things like that. It's really like I feel we got some Ed Sheeran in the background. I'm gonna switch this up real quick. I don't know if you guys can hear the hear the music, but it's a little romantic for my style. So I just, you know, shooting B-roll, I lose myself in it. I really just, I have to like feel it, and I have to kind of have an idea of what kind of music I'm going to shoot. And then I go in there, and my movements really are, you know, kind of based on that. Yes, please share your channels. Absolutely. I want you guys to share your channels. They just, you know, I love supporting other YouTubers and other creators, even if you're not on YouTube, if you're on Instagram, or, you know, if you're a blogger on Twitter, or you just make some like really funny comical remarks on Facebook. I mean, hell yeah, I like to promote everything. Again, Blake Hauser, my dad. The tricks you showed earlier this week were great. Dragging a camera with a towel was a good idea. Thank you so much. Yeah, the towel slider. That was something that I actually saw a guy do when I was on a shoot, and I said, like, man, I really wish I had a slider at this moment, because we were like shooting some like B-roll, and this guy was like, yo, he's like, grab that t-shirt, and he like folded the t-shirt up, put the camera on the t-shirt, and he dragged the camera across on a t-shirt, and when I saw the footage, I was like, oh my god, like, that's incredible. We didn't have to pack this like big heavy slider, and we ended up getting the shot that we wanted anyway, and that was fantastic. So the towel slider is actually something that I use pretty often, especially if I'm out on a guerrilla type shoot or running gun or something like that. I do have a slider. I have a motorized slider, and that thing is awesome for a multitude of reasons, but you can't beat a towel with a camera. That thing actually is pretty handy. One of my favorite things, I think, that I covered in Monday's video, the 5 DIY tricks and tips, was the reflections. Like if you're out there and you're shooting some product stuff, the reflections really are just like something that I think really looks cool. And I'm gonna be doing a video this coming Monday. I'm going to be doing something pretty similar to Monday's video, like another, you know, DIY tips, tricks type of thing. This one is going to focus kind of more on like background type ideas for shooting some like product and things like that. I bought that big sheet of black acrylic, and man, that thing throws some like super nice reflections. Like you throw a watch on there or something like that, and it's just like, ugh, it looks so good. I'll share with you guys, since we're here and there's only a few of us. The Monday's thing is really kind of going to be about like very simple and cheap things that you can buy to shoot products on. And when I was walking around Lowe's one day, it's a home improvement store here in the States, and I was just like, you know, I think I would really love to shoot a watch or jewelry, you know, something rugged for like men on a piece of slate. But you know, to get like a big piece of slate, oh my gosh, I couldn't even imagine what the cost of, you know, something like that would be. So I went to Lowe's and I was looking at tile, like ceramic tile that looks like slate, and so I ended up picking up a piece of that. And you'll see in Monday's video, you know, you can go out and you can buy these, you know, these pieces, and you can do something really creative with, you know, just a piece of ceramic tile. Manuel, oh yeah, dude, the MacBook Bokeh, that's like a super cool little trick. That that was something that I saw online, and I was just like, oh man, that looks really cool. Like, especially if you're shooting something small. I dug that one too. My dad. Seems like most of us probably overthink how to do something. I like how you are able to get very creative in reflections and dragging. Thank you. I think everybody in the chat at this point knows that you're my dad. So, yeah, I just like I said, I just like really try to like do things as cheap as I possibly can, because I've gone ahead and I've spent, you know, all of my money. I like to reinvest in my company and in myself, and you know, you got to go and you got to buy lenses, and you got to buy microphones, and you got to buy computers and this webcam, and you know, I have my studio camera right there, and here's my photo camera and my new 100mm macro lens, and you know, just even down to the fact that this dimmer switch. All right, I just bought this dimmer switch. This thing is capable of dimming a 1,000 watt lamp. This thing was $50, and you know, there's certain things that you do need to spend money on, especially if you're in the ring with other pros in your area and you're competing for business. But there are also things that you don't need to spend money on, which is like backgrounds and things like that. Like this desk. I shoot a lot of things on this desk because the desk has beautiful wood grain, and my floor is actually, the floor of this studio is very raw wood, and it just like, I shoot a lot of stuff on there. If you saw my microphone comparison, the cheap microphone and the $25 microphone that I actually have right here that I'm not using, I shot that on my hardwood floor because it's just raw and it looks cool. Because of your video camera showdown, I invested in the Canon G7X. If you do check out my channel, I would love the feedback. That video, I knew was actually going to get a good bit of traffic. That one, I actually told my girlfriend the night before I shot it. I said, you know what, I'm going to do a video on the G7X Mark II because I know that it's going to get a lot of hits. Thank you for watching that. That video has actually gotten me the most controversy and the most mean-spirited comments that I've ever actually gotten on any YouTube videos. Hang on right here. I'm actually going to show you why I made that video. All right, I'm back. I tried to make that fast. So the reason that I actually made that camera showdown video wasn't actually to compare the HX80 to the G7X Mark II. Like, I wasn't actually trying to say this camera is better than this camera because of this. What I was actually kind of trying to do was just educate, you know, new YouTubers. This is the Sony HX80. This is the Canon G7X Mark II. They look identical. They look absolutely identical, and everybody wants to know why this camera is, you know, $750 and why this camera is like, I don't know, probably like $280 at this point. And, you know, I went into detail on why these cameras were at a different price point. And, you know, the reason is the Canon G7X Mark II has a larger sensor. It has a 1-inch sensor. And that enables this camera to get fantastic footage, and it really will help you get great footage in low light situations. This camera right here works on, I actually have the poster right back there that I made for the video. Right there. The Canon G7X Mark II has the 1-inch sensor, and the HX80 has a micro 2/3 sensor. It really, it doesn't perform well in low light. Not to say that it's a bad camera, but it just doesn't perform well in low light. So thank you for watching that video. I really do appreciate it. It was a video that I really had a good time making. I really wanted to have that overhead and me writing on the thing to list out all the differences, but I really wanted to show people who said, oh my god, these cameras are identical, why does this one cost almost $800 and this one costs only $300? Well, there's reasons, and this one just happens to have better components that make the camera. And so like I get people commenting on that video all the time that are like, man, you should have used the Sony RX100, you're an asshole for saying that comparing these two, it's like comparing apples and oranges, or comparing a Ferrari and a Volkswagen and things like that. And I'm just like, man, guys, please, like, understand that I was trying to show the differences to people that see an identical camera. So all right, we have literally been going for an hour. One more comment here. Keith, I have the Mark I G7X, and it's fantastic for a small vlogging camera. Even the kids can use it and get awesome footage. Dude, I completely agree. The reason that I bought this was something I was talking about a little earlier. When I was vlogging in public for like the first time, I used my phone because that was comfortable. But I wanted a little bit of better quality, because I can't very well sit there and say, I do this for a living, I make my livelihood from shooting video, and have subpar quality. So I tried to step it up, without spending the money on the G7X. So I got this, so I could get, a little better quality. And it wasn't something with such a large footprint that I felt embarrassed to carry around and hold in front of my face and speak to. So I ended up getting this, and it's great, man. I could keep this thing on me at all times. It was pretty fun. But then I got the 80D, and you know what? At that point, I was just like, you know what? Screw it. This is what I do, and I make videos, and I'm gonna keep making videos, and I don't care where I'm at. I went to a wine tasting, and there were 1,000 people there, and I was walking around with my big DSLR. I'd flown my drone outside of it and everything, so people immediately knew that I was a video guy. And I was walking around talking to myself the entire time, and dude, after a while, people just were like, whatever, there's a crazy guy over there talking to himself and his camera. But it was pretty fun. It was awesome. But yeah, I like, giving the kids, my GoPro or something like that. And I'm just like, yo, go run down that slip and slide, or go sled ride down this hill or something, or go ride your scooter with my GoPro or something like that. So that's always fun. But I'm going to cut this. We've been going for an hour and 10 minutes at this point. I never even imagined that I would have lasted even 10 minutes, for as nervous as I was when this all started. But thank you guys so much for the support. I can't believe that you guys actually stuck around and asked questions. And I would really love for you guys to come and join me. I'd really love to find out a way that maybe we could do kind of like a like a like a podcast situation where we could have multiple cameras and multiple of us, like a round table or something, and we could all talk. That's something that is on my list to figure out the logistics of. But I thank you guys so much. I appreciate it. Thank you all for coming and asking your questions and enjoying the little happy hour. Hanging out, man. I hope that I wasn't the only one drinking, but I needed to because I was scared to death. So, Manuel, thank you so much. I appreciate your kind words. Keith, thanks for joining. Dad, I love you. Thank you for asking questions and jumping on the live chat. Brenna, thank you very much for contributing, and I really, really hope that your channel just explodes. Anything that you want me to cover, just, if I can help, let me know. I think I got everyone. Tara Lynn took off a little earlier. Motherly duties called. I'd like to thank her very much. Let's see. Brian Howard just jumped in real quick. Off topic, but how's the Rose Avenue? The Rose Avenue is awesome. The only crappy part is that my weather here in Pennsylvania has been less than desirable. So I just don't really want to go out there and ride in 20, 30 degree weather, because that thing is fast, and you're riding down the road and it just it's cold outside and snot is coming out of your nose. It's not good, and it's freezing to your face and up in my beard and all that stuff. But the Rose Avenue is awesome. I can't wait until there's warmer weather and I can get out there and ride that thing all over the place. I'll take that thing everywhere. It's got the nice little luggage rack on the back, so I'll be stashing some groceries in that thing and whatnot. But Brian, thanks for joining into the live chat. I really appreciate it. Keith, if you're up for joining into some kind of a podcast thing, dude, I'm all about it. I would love to talk shop with you. I just have to figure out the logistics. I was figuring out here that there is a big lag, and it's kind of tough with my connection speed and things like that. So I just have to figure out, just those behind the scenes logistic type things. But I will let you know, and if there's a way that we can do it, I'm all about it, man. Thank you guys for joining. I really appreciate it, and you guys really motivated me and supported me enough that I'd like to do this again, which is good because I have it all over my branding. So thank you guys so much for making this easy on me. I appreciate the hell out of it. Mondays, Wednesdays, we're kind of doing those DIY things. Mondays are like the short videos. I'm going to try and keep those under 2 minutes. Wednesdays are another DIY type of thing, but with a tutorial where I like to, just kind of get in depth and maybe that's where I'll do that B-roll video. And then obviously Friday's this live show. So really, really like to, welcome you guys to come and check those out. Anything that you guys think I should cover, please let me know, and I'd love to get to it because, like I said, I really want to put out content that is meaningful and that you guys can actually use. I don't want to put out something that people would just be like, yeah, obviously, man. How do you start a project in Premiere or something like that? If that's something that you want to know, let me know, and I'll do it. So here we go. Brian, I feel ya. I live in Washington State. LOL, keep crushing it. Dude, Washington State. I actually just learned the other day that they basically refer to Pittsburgh as the Seattle of the East because we get just as much rain as Seattle does. And that was mind-blowing to me. I was like, wait, are you serious? And apparently, if you look at it, we're actually on the same, like, I don't know which one it is, longitude, latitude. There was like a trick to that. But I think we're on the same, like, latitudinal line, if latitude is east to west, as Seattle, which is a pretty interesting thing here. Manuel, I still want to purchase it. They still do not deliver to Switzerland. Man, that is like something that I've noticed a lot. It was tough whenever I was making those skateboard videos and I was running the online skateboard shop. You know, it was really tough to ship boards because like the lithium-ion batteries and things like that. It's man, that's a tough thing. So hopefully someone over there figures out a way to either sell those or make something similar. But all right, I'm gonna bounce. I love you guys. Thank you so much for all your support, and you guys motivated me to continue doing this on Fridays. So if you're around next Friday, grab a drink and meet me back here. Cheers. We'll see you guys later.